5 other live streams, including um,
Corsair Trainer.
Steve's correct.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Howdy, folks.
So we got Michael and Kaylin out there.
Yeah. Like I said, we have a lot of people.
A lot of people on live stream this morning, I noticed.
Yeah.
We get a few more people in here. I got an announcement, and then we'll try to do away with all this repetitious crap.
Yeah. There we go.
Try to fix it so everybody's trying to stay a little more on the even play field.
All right.
Good morning, Tasha. How are you doing this morning?
Tasha's here. I forget, 2 other people tried mushroom kits like I showed them from Amazon. They're growing mushrooms. That's pretty nice. Let's see. You guys
I used to grow those things on a regular basis. Had a little spot between my flooring and my hot water tank down in the basement. Well, it wasn't even a basement, it was a crawl space. And right. I used to grow my mushrooms in there, not the silly kind, but the kind that you could eat.
Right. Are you all right, Will?
Yeah.
You gotta watch it. They're running out of a lot of things. If you got a pool, be careful. Make sure you stock up. My friend told me they might have a pool chlorine shortage.
That's pretty crazy there.
Well, no, their plant burned down.
Yeah.
So until they get it up and running, pool chlorine, you can't get it because their chlorine is priority first. It's the U.S. Army, U.S. Army and Navy, the military, and then the second is states and cities. I can't say that word this morning. Can't think that fast.
Municipalities.
Yeah, something like that. They're talking for
the cities. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big fancy word.
Is that stuff they call? Go get it at like a big store. They call it like something smooth, right? And it you put it in your pool water, and it completely levels out all the bad stuff in the pool.
No, that's a balancer. No, we're talking primary pool shock and chlorine, and
that's what I was thinking of. Pool shock,
right? Balancers are different. That company and them are fine, but the trouble is, without chlorine, all you're doing is wasting your money. It'll still stay green. That's the word. Tasha got it for me.
Municipality. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's morning. I'm not awake yet. I'm not like Steve's
more
crew.
Coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like Steve's crew who are like ranting and raving right now. It's like, it's reality check time, folks. We've been through year 1 of this. Year 2, if you're not prepped and ready and you're just starting, you should hook up with an older person who's been doing this for a longer time. And I tell people, if you're going to store food in the garage, make sure it's temperature sensitive. If it's okay in a 106-degree garage, you could store certain things. But if you store like food stuff, that has to stay between 60 to 70 degrees range and heat. People, I start canning and put them outside in the garage. I'm like, that sounds nuts.
Yeah, you need to be putting them in a cooler spot, not a warmer spot.
Not a garage that gets 200. You know how sometimes the garages overheat?
Oh, man.
Yeah, and you're putting all your food supplies there. Remember Hubble's cat? Well, it got a little warm up here. I got to get rid of all these canned foods, dumping in the sink and started the garbage disposal. Yeah, we all saw that video, folks. That's
Yeah,
the fact.
that's why I'm laughing.
Right. And don't use cardboard boxes. I use cardboard boxes for temporary storage or when I transport to people's houses. I do have the good ones from Costco, the black bins that Liberty Garden showed me. Black bins with a yellow top. Strong as hell. I got tired of using the blue ones because I get holes from rats and mice. They chew right through that bin. But the black ones, they don't. It's too heavy.
You get some birch bark? Is that what you're saying, Kaylin? You got something special there then.
Yep.
Birch bark is good stuff.
Very flammable. And if you have a birch tree in front of your house, just pick it and put it in a plastic bag and resell it. It's kind of funny. People are doing that for making extra cash.
And you can't believe it, but that stuff is very flammable.
Yeah. Yeah, the pitches, the sap from the birch tree is also flammable. Also, medicinal medicinal purposes. You mix a teaspoon of the sap into a gallon of hot water, and you soak your feet, your arms, any place that aches and pains, and then rinse it off after pain is gone. That will solve arthritis problem because there's something I forget was inside birch bark. They used to have birch bark oil that you rub as aluminum. I can't say it. It starts with an L. You put it on, you rub it into sore muscles and aches.
Lemon?
Lemon? Shoot. It's morning. I haven't had my second cup. Lemonette.
Lemonette.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Michael got it. Too early in the morning, folks.
I haven't had my second cup of coffee myself.
Yeah. Her brain's not working very far, but like I said, be careful. Some places may suffer a gas shortage on Memorial's Day because more people are trying to get out and about. And I need those containers too, but don't have the money right now. I understand that, Tasha. Fuel problems. You see, California was switched from winter gas to summer gas, and I'm trying to burn off all my winter gas out of my tanks.
What's Kaylin saying?
If I owned the property, it would be, since I rent, I only take when, let's see, fallen bark and sticks. That's fine, Kaylin. No problem.
Yeah, that works. That's fine.
Yeah.
Even if it was just on the trees and fall, how it sits on the trees, it could separate a little bit. You could go out there and just pull it off.
Right. Just don't do too much.
You're not taking anything away from anybody.
No, you're not being a beaver and just ripping holes in it. Let's see. We got 6 people in the chat.
Is it the weather starting to warm up in everybody's regions now?
Well, I live in a desert.
I know you should be good, but I'm talking about these other folks out there that live across the country where one day it's 70 degrees, the next day it's 32 or something like that.
Yeah.
Should start be warming up for everybody now, and they should really consider getting all their vegetables. This is my big one this year. I can't say it enough. Is if you've got vegetables that you like, but you haven't been planting them because you just can't afford it, I don't care. You should go out and get those seeds anyway and put them in the ground and grow them because it's going to be a bad year for trying to get vegetables out of the stores.
Right. I agree with Kaylin. It's raining. You have to wait a week, folks, because what you call it, where from where Will lives to heading east, you're having signs of turbulence. There's probably what I'm worried about. Will is another big hail. Remember that hailstone that pounded the crap out of your car?
And my car, yeah.
Yeah, that one about a couple of days ago hit Oklahoma, and they had golf ball size hailstones, and people were moving their cars into those little temporary garages things.
Yep.
And one man was filming like after the hailstone, look at my garage, and it's all like somebody took a baseball bat and just
Yeah, I've got a friend that lives in Oklahoma that used to live in Washington. And he said he can't believe the size of hail they get there.
oh yeah. So if you're going to plant vegetables, wait another week. The weather is very weird this year because I'm got a line for snow. It crosses 12 states. It hits Canada. You might be getting snow this late in the year in May. And then you have whatchamacallit, severe weather throughout the Midwest, central states, and little bit it's like rubbing against the Appalachians and go straight up north. So if you're going to plant, keep an eye on the weather. That's a big problem because you don't want to plant your bedding plant and then you see, oh, hailstone size of golf balls raining down, and here's the plant. You seen Will's car? Remember that video? Your
Yep.
tiny little bedding plant, and you got like, oh heck, hail golf balls. That doesn't survive too well. So be careful, folks.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. I used to make temporary greenhouses out of PVC pipe and plastic. And I would take it and flex the pipe so it was like arched, like this. And then stretch the plastic over the top of it. And just leave them on there as a short term thing.
Yep.
And just have it on there for like the first 4 or 5 weeks of spring, so that when those short storms came through, it would protect your plants.
Yeah, you see, Tasha and Kaylin are ready. Kaylin says it's still going to be a cold spell in her region. That's Iowa. In Oklahoma, they're getting whatchamacallit, coffee cans and tin cans to cover the plants in case the hail comes. Because seriously, folks, this year the weather's been nuts. I've been talking to James, and he says, "Yeah, I'm now putting his peppers out because it. What was it? We had snow in Ohio, or rain, or big freeze, and he doesn't want to put his plants out. I don't blame him. A lot of people, their first planting died from the frost.
Yeah. I know you have to be, sometimes you just have to have leather skin and go for it.
Right. But like I said, you could defeat the frost by preparing for it, plastic coverings like Will has, and then, or empty milk jugs. You cut the bottom off and makes a little mini greenhouse.
Yep.
But like I said, even I, a regular gardener, and I'm trying to show my grandnephews how to grow. I keep telling them, if you don't plant it right and be careful, you might end up with a dead plant. And I'm going to plant a couple of pepper plants to replace their plants because they're young and they can't tell the difference. And you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I planted cucumbers. Well, you got bell peppers now.
Jalapenos.
Yeah. No, and I have to throw a pitch for Garden State Gardener. Everybody, go check out his channel. On Sunday, he's doing a drawing. Go to one of his videos, tell him I'm in, and you get a packet of free seeds when they hold the drawing. Have you ever tried that, Will?
No.
No, you gotta go check out Joe's channel.
I should. What's the name of it? Let me get my pen out.
No problem.
House cleaning yesterday.
No problem.
For my desk. Stuff. Well, the desk is clean, but I don't have a pen that I can reach. What's
Yeah.
his name?
It's Joe at Garden State Gardener.
Garden State Garden.
Gardener. That way you can tell the difference because they got a lot of Garden State Gardens, but only one Joe's channel, Garden State Gardener.
Got it.
Yeah. Almost punched in on my Pop Tart. I thought was the phone. I need coffee.
I need something for my phlegm. Little woman's laying down. I can't ask her to get me a cup of coffee.
That's why I have a thermos sometimes, but I didn't fill up the thermos this morning.
Did Jay come in? I didn't see him.
Yeah, Jay came in.
How you doing, Jay? What are some of the little tricks you guys are learning this year that we can share with each other and try to get everybody covered? How are you doing today, Jay? I didn't see you sneak in that back door.
I'm sticking to food. I think Steve's still doing tactical and stuff like that. I go more for food because food is the big thing. Food and water.
I think food, making sure that you have plenty of food on your shelves is a big one for this year. And that I have read an article on the trucking industry, and they might be striking, so
Oh yeah.
they may not be able to get the food here and there.
They're only striking blue states. If your state is red, it probably bypass it because the blue states don't guarantee because they're independent contractors. Most of them, they can't guarantee a wage for them, and they say, "Oh no, you're like the Grub Hut guys," and that offend a lot of truckers. So if you're in a blue state, you might get strike this summer because California definitely they're going to get strike because it's a big blue state, and you cannot compare a truck driver to a Grub Hut driver or a Lyft driver. Totally different fields because people, oh, he's just a part timer. No, he isn't. He's a full time independent contractor that has to work on a very limited scale to get a profit.
Yeah. I have a buddy that I just talked to him on the phone. He's a over the road driver. He drives between Denver and the East Coast. And he said that he's very limited as to what he can do.
Yeah.
They said they got him on, well, he might pick up a load today, haul it only part way back, drop it off, and then have to stay there and wait for the next load.
Yep. Jay, that's not a funny comment. If he hires BLM to drive trucks, definitely you're going to see a full scale strike. You can't hire people to drive an 18 gear truck or 20 or 12 and think, oh, yeah, instant truck driver. It's not a regular truck. You have to know how to shift the gears. And plus, you have to know it takes about 8 to 6 weeks of schooling. And then you take 3 months of practice runs. Because a lot of these kids, like, well, he's BML. Let's put him in. They have a high rate of failure in those trucking schools because most people doesn't understand how hard it is to truck drive. I wish Dave was here of Southern Ohio Prepping, and he'll explain how hard it is to learn to drive correctly because a lot of them they don't understand that, right, Will?
Well, a lot of those new schools, because I have a friend that just went through one of them, takes you only about 6 weeks to learn how to drive the truck. And then they put you in the truck with an old time driver, and the old time driver makes the younger guy drive the truck until he feels he's experienced enough to do it by himself. So
Right.
it really depends on the mind of the older driver as to when they cut the guy loose.
Right. And also, like I said, they could drive through protests. Well, a lot of people, they don't understand these protests. There's an act of terrorism. And some of them, like this one guy, he's getting 5 years in prison for doing blocking and shooting at the highway patrol. He's getting 5 years for a federal crime. Because if you do anything on a highway, an interstate,
Have a safe day, Dustin.
have a nice day, Destin. Whatchamacallit? It's a federal crime if you do anything stupid on interstate. And right now, we haven't been pushing and arresting these people because it's a protest.
Yeah, things are going to be happening, I think, this summer. There'll be protests, and then there'll be people, truck drivers and stuff doing stuff that they usually don't do, like using their trucks to form blockades and stuff like that, I don't see them trying to run people over or anything, but I
Right.
see them causing blockades and stuff like that.
Yeah. But like I said, folks, you have to be very careful. And I think it's Pro Carry Trucker. Is she's talking about the ration review from Canada drives a truck down here as well as over Canada, keeps rations in his truck. Yeah, that's good. No kidding, Jay. That's why I've been giving everybody a reality check. Not only food, but gasoline. People forget
Yep.
that. Where's the gas
Good
coming
point,
from?
Jay.
From a Magic Fairies. No, it comes from a truck.
Those truck stops, they can become a bartering chip. Those
Yeah,
guys own a lot of the highway,
right.
the truck
But
stops too.
right, the truck stops are kind of difficult because they have a limited resupply. If all the trucker knows everything goes bad, those places be empty out in 2 days. But
Well, the
prep for it.
oil, the gas,
Yeah,
the
it'll be emptied
diesel
out.
fuel.
Empty out in 2 days because truckers know. And let's see, Biden will use the military. Cannot. That's against the law. That's instant impeachment. You have to get approval from Congress to use any United States troops, including National Guards, inside the state's border. If Biden says, "Yeah, we'll use military and we'll solve our problem," next day you seen, and our 46th president has been removed from office. And then we have Harris. Great.
Jay's
Yeah.
got a point there about the armored cars,
Right.
is those armored cars are not going to be able to transport the money if they don't have any fuel to put in the truck.
Right. Also, let's see. We haven't reinforced the railroad system, so you kiss that one. By armored trucks weren't developed for long haul transport. They're short range. They do a light tanks job.
It's short run fix.
Right. And it's not. They're not taking food from Ohio to where Will is. You can't do that because you run out of gas about midpoint. Because it's not that purpose. It's supposed to transfer troops and supplies for short ranges, and then you run out of gas. If the Democrats in Congress do that, they're playing a risky game of losing their seat in power. They also could get impeached. And what happened to the senator? He did something wrong. We have to pull him out. So a lot of them are not playing that game. Sorry, Joe. We ain't going to do that. I don't want to sell. Not going to sell share a cell with you.
Yeah, I don't know. The Dems are in power. If the Dems want it, the Dems are going to get it. That's the way it's been.
Yeah, but I'd be really careful because already 109 Democrats broke the law. And they say, "Oh no, it's for this and that, and we're sainted. We're not going to get in trouble." Uh, let's see, not
Anyway, I
including
saw that. Yeah, I kind of saw that happening when the Republicans ran the Senate.
yeah, and look how much trouble they got. So,
None.
but no, quite a few got replaced really hard. And I do warn people they have to walk on a tightrope. There's certain things you cannot do. Packing the courts. Nobody should ever done it. Last person to try that was FDR, and then Eisenhower came in and put it back to the original. And those people who voted for FDR's expansion of the Supreme Court, well, they weren't in public office after that. Some were getting removed. Some went to prison. What do you mean I can't pack the courts and have a lot of these things? Because Eisenhower went after both Republicans and Democrats. Because everybody remember Eisenhower, Iron Mike, Ike,
Yeah.
Iron. He didn't put up, and his was close enough. It wasn't a perfect balance budget, but he made sure everything worked like clockwork. For years, he was MacArthur's whatchamacallit, adjutant, and he went down the line. He he was the guy behind the Philippines that ran everything smooth. He was his adjutant for MacArthur and Patton when he was in the military.
Yeah, what I saw was the Republicans packed the court before the turn of the election, thinking that even if they lost, they would have the courts in their pockets, which it didn't work to their advantage.
Now, because the court's supposed to be independent from this political game, it doesn't matter who put you into that seat. You have to be judged by us, the people.
Exactly.
And
That's why I said they got screwed because the courts are supposed to be non-political,
right.
but Republicans thought that because they put them in there and that they would get whatever they wanted when they lost control. But it didn't work that way. Now all those judges that they packed their court with is turning over all the decisions. So
I don't want
the Democrats really don't have to pack the courts.
right.
They're not even talking about it. Who's talking about it are the Republicans. The Republicans are trying to make it sound like the Democrats are going to pack the court when the Democrats don't have to.
Right. It's crazy. It's a big game to them. But like I said, folks, you have to be careful because we're coming to like shoot, I lost track. Like Tasha said, we're coming to that point because the Bible says, which is kind of correct. But I tell a lot of people on divinity and also reading the book of Enoch and stuff, you have to be careful because a lot of people make the wrong assumptions. I said it right, assumptions, and they get in trouble. And what's sad is remember the Doomsday Preppers? Will?
What? I was reading the comments.
The Doomsday Preppers on TV. Remember that series?
Yeah.
Yeah, that always cracked me up. They had a estate sale from one of these Doomsday Preppers who passed away. Got hit by a car or truck. He didn't plan for that.
No. Hey, Miss Nina.
Hi, Miss Nina. But what they did was his family got tired of it and they put him on all his stuff on sale. And a lot of people, they got like, damn, we got this stuff for damn near cheap. If you prep for the wrong thing, your family's, after you die, your family probably going to sell it.
Yeah. So So we have to do is make sure that you are growing your own food, so you don't have to rely on like the trucking industry or the big ass. Oops, I use that code word.
Yep.
Those big ships or anything to feed us. We have to feed ourselves.
Right. And a lot of people get misconception on the big ships and the railroads. Railroads will haul long-term heavy cargo. So does the ships, but they do not transport fragile cargo, which is perishables. That's the trucking industry's biggest point. If they can't get it within a day or 2 days' time of their destination, they just lost their cargo. Because strawberries won't stand up. Yeah, we got garden fresh strawberries. You don't want to see that under 3 days, right? Right.
And
Well,
if they can't get it there in time, then those strawberries just go to waste.
yeah. So, like I said, like Will right here, you have food you have to worry about. You have to worry about water. Everybody missed that point. They're saying we can use filter. I live in the desert. Sorry, I live in the desert. So where's your water coming from? Oh, they got a lot of canals. I wouldn't drink water out of those things. We know better, right? Well,
Yeah, you gotta have your filters set up.
yeah, but we got irrigation uh, um, channels and canals and ditches. I would not drink water from that.
It
Remember
probably
modern?
wouldn't be a very good idea
No.
unless you
Remember?
had your own filter set up. Remember?
Yeah, even modern refugee says, I'm not going to drink that water. And he was walking down the side of the road. There's like, God knows what's in that irrigation ditch for the farmer. And we're all looking down in this camera and the panning and like, nope, I'm not drinking that brown, green, chunky water, even with a filter.
It would depend on the kind of filtration you did it. Uh, what are those one filters?
Berkey's?
The Berkey one, but the real fancy one.
Oh, shoot. I know.
Remember that one, Nina? You made one time.
Right. The osmosis filter that uses the heavy carbon and ceramic
Yeah,
filters. Yeah. But you got to be prepared, folks, because a lot of people don't know there's other things in the water like insecticide, fertilizer. That filters don't take those out. It just goes right through it because it's a liquid compound.
sure it is. But you could also just let the water sit and let everything drop out of it.
No, it doesn't work like that. Insecticide, no. Fertilizers, no. It's still in there. You have to either total evaporation and then separation in the atmosphere, or go through a high compression. What you call it's morning
Osmosis.
osmosis. Correct. Thanks, Will. Like keep telling people, you have to know where your water source is, and I know mine, and I know which ones you cannot. It's like the arsenic springs I have above me about 50 miles away in the mountains. Yeah, it looks like clean water. Notice the little animal skeletons around.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it does make a lot of sense to know the surroundings around what's going on with your water.
Right. Because you don't want to drink arsenic water. How much arsenic in it? 72%. Yeah. Then you be the little skeleton next to the little skeletons.
Hey, Drops family, how are you doing? Yep, that's a good idea for sure.
Yep. Osmosis.
And stills aren't really that expensive.
Right. But remember, folks, when you drink osmosis filtered water or distilled water, it pulls nutrients out of your bones. So I tell people that because Nina put up a good point on that one. So
Well, your body's going to lose something no matter what.
right,
So you take the good with the bad, you weigh it all together, and then you make the best decision that you can.
Right. If you're doing it for short term, that's fine. Long term, no, because they quit doing that because the Russians put up the same information. on that with the osmosis system. So you either have to take more tablets to counteract the effect, or you have a high diet in potassium.
Well, you can listen and weigh it all out and make
Yeah,
the best decision.
right,
No matter what you do, you're going to find somebody's going to have a way of making it sound bad for you.
yeah,
But one way or the other, you have to make that decision for yourself because it did come down to the road where you go, do I live or do I die?
right. And most time, if
So
you make the
you,
bad mistake, you die.
he
uh,
who hesitates dies.
right, and he who makes the wrong choice also dies. So you have a 50-50 chance of surviving.
Yep.
But let's say hello to the Drops family who stopped by. Our viewership's up to 7. Hi, Drops family.
I mean, things can get worse, but they're not going to get any better if you don't put your one foot in front of the other and do what you have taught yourself to do all these years.
Right.
Sure, you want to do it, get better along the way, but at the same time, you want to end up where you can pretty much tell yourself that I'm going to do it this way because I have the best reasoning for surviving.
Right. Like I said, I've seen a lot of past preppers say, I could drink this water out of this irrigation ditch or this filthy pond with a dead sheep in it. And then you don't ever hear them after that. I know one guy totally screwed up his intestines because I could drink water from the dumpster. And I'm like,
Hey, fishes.
hi, fishes alone. Hi, Carol. That's kind of crazy. That when I hear people like say, I could use a life straw and drink dumpster water, I'm like, okay, next week, nothing. Next month, their channel dropped. And I find out he got so sick of doing that when he drank water with a life straw. And Will, you took apart that life straw, right?
Yep.
Would
It
you
was a
trust your
shitty one. It was a
yeah?
shitty one, though.
Would you trust your life on a bad life straw and drink dumpster water?
Well, not that one anyway.
True. So I tell a lot of people be very careful. You have a choice, like Will says, on decision how to get your water, but we also forget that we tend to forget about shelter. Okay, and I keep telling people this because uh, uh, the hard part of shelter is you got to stay out of the wind and cold and damp. That's the three hyperthermia factors. And most channels says, "Oh, you can build lean-to or a brush right there." I don't. I live in the desert. What brush? What forest you're talking about? I have dirt. So I'm trying to figure out how to build a lean-to out of dirt. Does that sound a little crazy? Well,
Yep.
I live in the desert. The biggest thing I got here are giant tumbleweeds. But you know me, I know what I'm doing. But God, that hurt.
Hey, nomadic rat pack. I haven't seen you forever.
Yeah,
How you doing, my brother? Good to see you went back to work. Maybe we'll be able to see more of you.
yeah. Good to see you, nomadic rat. It's morning. I need another coffee. Uh, this
Rat pack.
rat pack, yeah. 1 mil plastic drop cloth. Everybody should have 25 of these stashed around the house. If your windows break, you got something to cover it. If you need to make an emergency shelter, this is a lot better than a tarp. Because I forget how big this one. It's 10 by 20.
Yeah, they come in handy for everything.
Yeah, you can make a boat or a tent, or like in my area, I dig a shallow trench, put dirt on either side to hold it down, and
Yep.
crawl in.
Make you a pond. Yep.
Yeah, uh, a pod, and go in it and stay nice and warm out of the wind. because the wind will kill you.
Renter is moving out, and I'm trying to read what Nomadic Ratback is saying. Well, I'm doing well. He said he was away from YouTube or other place due to renters moving out and trashing the place. That's terrible.
Yeah. Like I said, folks,
It's good to see you back, though.
that's construction bags, Carol. There's a difference between a construction bag and a contractor's bag. It's about maybe 25 cubic feet. So you want the construction black plastic bag. It's either black or orange or red.
Black ones are construction bags, right?
Right. And anything else in different colors are
And
contractor's
then the
bag.
millimeter in thickness.
Right. Because they have to do heavy work. I'll just call me Uncle Al, Nomadic Rat Pack. It's too early in the morning.
Well, I got here. I got 7 people in here. Starting next week, I'm going to start at noon instead of 11:30. We'll be starting at noon, half hour later than usual,
Now, that sounds good on Monday.
and then that'll kind of bring down the amount of people from Steve's. They can start drifting in here sooner, and then everything will start kind of hopefully blending together. And then instead of free for all Mondays is going to start having a topic to talk about. And next Mondays is going to be kids in SHTF.
That's for Thursday?
It's for next Monday.
Next Monday, okay. And what's
And
our
then
topic?
for this Thursday, our topic is going to be. Shoot, I don't have it, that piece of paper here. Thursday is going to be. I can't think of what it is. I'll email it to you, Al. I have it written down.
No problem.
God darn it. No, not enough copy for me either.
True.
Wish I wasn't so darn old. I'm going to start buying some of those pills for my memory, I think. Are they jellyfish cells or whatever the heck they call them?
True. Another extract and more money we have to pay for memory pills. Great.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but like I said, folks, those are the top 3s you have to worry about if you're starting prepping is food, water, and some kind of form of shelter. If you're a renter and like an apartment, like most of us are, if you're on a fixed income, you have to think variables. Is your apartment can withstand certain problems? Like in the high-rise apartments, I would recommend getting the top apartment because you know what happens to all the toilets once they lose pressure. And it's not a pretty sight.
Shit flows downhill.
Right. Or poo flows downhill. So if you're on the bottom floor, you're going to see your toilet looking like The Exorcist. Yep. More coffee.
More coffee. I'm going to do an OBS show on Saturday.
Oh, good.
It'll be just me and you guys one on one. I've got a show put together. We'll see how that goes. It's going to start at 7 Mountain Standard Time.
That sounds good. Are you going to cover the YouTube basics? Because a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people is getting, why my channel got dropped? Why ain't I'm broadcasting? Why ain't getting comments? Because you didn't do anything to your channel, and your channel thing is like from 2012, and it's totally blank across the board. What do you think the AI is going to think?
Yeah,
There's
the
no,
topic on the Saturday one is you were born after 1953. You need to watch this.
that sounds good. Yeah, I need more coffee. It's like you wake up 4:30 and do work, and it's like my midday right now around 10, 11. And it's like, oh, more meds and take my
That's why I
pressure.
try to do it early enough in the day where when I get off here, I don't have to do too much the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I can sit here and tinker around with the next show or whatnot until I get bored, and then I can just go watch TV.
Uh, true, true pneumatic rat
Nap
pack.
time, I hear that. Boy, that sounds good.
Yeah, me too. But like I said, you have to be careful, folks. We're coming to heavy seas or heavy waters. It's going to be rough this summer. It's not going to be throughout all the United States. It's going to be certain areas. It depends how much they could get done and how much the federal government stays out of our business. Because every time they stick their nose, I don't care which party's in, they always ruin everything for us. So just keep your eyes open and head on the swivel.
It's going to be going through right through the middle of the United States, north to south, east to west, be right in the middle of that trucking industry or anything. Right through that I-80 corridor is going to be tough.
Real tough. And like I said, a lot of trucking companies are not delivering to blue states because of the protests, riots, because they don't want to damage their trucks. Trucks cost money. And right now, with the economy going as it is, the economy is fine. No, when we have inflation, like Will and me discussed earlier on the Weimar Republic in Germany, when they had hyperinflation, I want to buy a loaf of bread. Well, get a wheelbarrow and get all the Krugerrands you can, buy food. And I'm like, get a loaf of bread and a turnip. Wheelbarrow of useless money.
Things are going to come out of lockdown, Nomadic. When they all come out of lockdown mode, everybody's going to go crazy, and you're going to see a lot of things like the old Depression days and stuff. My opinion.
Yep. Well, we're in that season, Carol. It's starting hurricane weather, where it's time for everybody. But like I said, folks, you have to be careful. Things change in like an instant. And shoot, I need those pills. Like, well, I had a train of thought and I forgot about it. But like I said, on lockdown, still many countries are doing that because the Indian second second outbreak occurred. So like Canada, they're locking down early. Right now, we're releasing people from the first wave, but the second wave hasn't come for us in the States. So I'm looking at that for the summer because India got hit with a second wave and we're due for one. But everybody says, oh no, we had a pleasant winter. Our second wave was low. I keep telling them that was the ending of the first wave because I've been doing the math for this. We have until 2023. We're not even at the midpoint yet. They're all looking at me, what? Like in shock.
Yeah, everybody thinks they're coming out of the uh, pandemic, but we're not even close to it yet.
Right. This bug takes 3 years to die off. So right now we finished year one. We're in the middle year. So it's going to be this year and then maybe spring of 2023. We'll find out if this bug mutated itself out of existence. By then, nope. We have to
Yep.
got 2 to 3 waves still has to hit US, and Canada's taking pre-action. Oh, we'll close down everything. That'll solve the problem. I'll go back to eating gravy fries and drinking Molson's. No, that's not going to work. I keep telling people that. Yeah, end of 2022, most people will be dead. True. That's true, Drop Family. But like I said, it takes 3 years to get rid of it. And some of that R&D stuff is R&D or RNA, RNA. RNA vaccines may not work because it's mutating so fast that the vaccine has no control over it unless it's an older version of the bug.
All right, I figured it out. What's in your bug out bag is for Thursday, Al.
Okay,
It finally slipped in there.
no problem. Like I said, folks, do not do too much weight. I see people. I got a sink here, Uncle. Why are you carrying a kitchen sink in your bug out bag? It's. I keep telling you, keep it simple, folks. On bug out bags, you have to transport limited space for 3 days minimum. Maximum is 2 weeks, and a lot of people can't pack for 2 weeks with a damn. Sorry.
Figure out how much you weigh and then divide that by 3. That's how many pounds you should be carrying around on your back.
Right. But remember, folks, if you're like me and Will, kind of ill, and I have back problems, Will's on the oxygen tank, you do not want to pack that much on you. That's why you have a Dustin. Hey, Dustin, here, carry this. Right, Will?
Yep. All right, let's start wrapping her up. We got 7 minutes left.
Right.
All right, starting next Monday, we'll meet at 12 at noon instead of 11:30. And I'll carry that on from now on because I want to make sure that we get Steve well on his way out before we get started, so we can have some of those folks come on in here instead of feeling like they have to drag themselves in here from coming out of his. So just trying to equal things out a little bit. And then on next Monday, instead of a free for all, it'll be a topic day. And next Monday, topic will be kids and SHTF.
Right.
And then on this Saturday, I'm going to do a show, and it will be called "If You're Born After 1953, You'll Want to See This." And then this Thursday, it's what's in your bug out bag or what's in your mob. And then that starts at 1 p.m.
Right. Drop Family, the days of the 60, 100-pound packs. You're talking about people who are middle aged or young who never had military experience, never carried those packs over 20 miles. I don't think most people with a regular bug out bag will make it 20 miles. Right,
No.
Will?
If you're going to plan on making it 20 miles, better start practicing first. My thing is start with just a few pounds in there and walk a mile. And keep walking that mile until you feel comfortable with that. When you get comfortable with that, add a few more pounds in there. Then stretch out your walk to, say, 1.25 miles and walk that with all that extra weight in there for 1.25 miles. Just keep doing that, and you may work your way up to where you want to be. Go either that or you'll kill yourself.
more likely you're going to kill yourself because a lot of people don't have the discipline and training to walk that far with a pack on their back. They're used to short term, like, I'm going to the bus station, I'm going to the groceries, I'm going to the bathroom. That it's like, it's
You
way
know,
too.
they get to the point where they got 10 or 15 pounds on their back and they're trying to walk a few miles and they're just going to look at you and say, frick this.
Yeah, and they're going to empty out stuff out of their bug out bag. Oh, look, a brand new stove. Oh, look, food. Oh, look, sleeping bag. You just follow them. You can pick up all sorts of goodies, and you take your abandoned shopping cart or your wagon and just follow these people. And they say, "Well, my bug out bag's empty." Yeah, but there's nothing in it. Here's Uncle Al with a wagon. Got all your stuff. You got money?
Look at there. You want to buy something? I'll sell it back to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Nomadic Rat Pack. Yeah, that's good drops. If you're in a great physical shape, that's even better than most 20 or 30-year-olds. They're couch sitters. Uh,
Yeah, a lot of people can condition themselves, but you have to have it up here. You have to have conditioning so that you can say, I can do this. Then you got to be able to do it. I mean, there's not a lot of people that can do that anymore. You have to have excellent power of in your head saying, I can do this.
yeah. Like I said, folks, you have to be careful. Reality, like my last video, reality checks, it's going to come up. You can make all the excuses you want, but if you're not prepared, like me and Will, we're prepared. We got our food, we got our toilet paper, we got water. You know, if you're not,
I need to
then
have a wagon to carry my stuff.
yeah, get a wagon or borrow a shopping cart. That's a lot easier. Hey, free wagon. Go to the grocery store. I'm liberating this because a lot of homeless people do it, right, Will?
Yep. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it a long time.
Right.
All right, you guys, I've got it for today. Remember, I'll see you Thursday at 1 p.m. It's what's in your bob or what's
Yep.
in your bug out bag. And I'll see you then. Bye.